A Michael Jackson impersonator who frequents the New York City subway, who also has a lengthy rap sheet and a history of mental illness, died after he was put in a chokehold by a U.S. Marine vet. His death was deemed a homicide by the city medical examiner, and of course, outrage by the public followed. Why? Because it perfectly fit their narrative. You know, white man killing black homeless man, the privileged hurting the less fortunate. The homeless man was Jordan Neely. He was allegedly threatening and harassing passengers on the subway, but our elected officials are treating him as a defenseless victim. Joining me now to weigh in on the madness is talk show host of 13-Minute News Hour, Bobby Eberle. Bobby, it didn't take long for our public representatives to jump on this. AOC said Neely was a murderer, that he was just crying out for food. You know, Bobby, she conveniently left out the part of him berating people, being aggressive. And according to witnesses there, he said, I want food. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm ready to go back to jail. I'll hurt anybody on this train. So, Bobby, I want your reaction to AOC's comment that he was just an innocent man.
Well, there's a couple things going on. I mean, I want to first relate it to what you see from the left when they talk about, you know, someone defending themselves with a gun. You know, it's like, why did you shoot this guy 3 times? Why didn't you just shoot him once in the hand or maybe knock his gun out? You know, there's a stressful situation where people, you don't know how this bad guy is going to react, and you defend yourself. These folks, AOC and all these other people, they're talking like this guy is just, you know, this peaceful guy, but there's at least 4 or 5 911 calls that were going down on that subway train as this was happening. They were fearful because this guy was, as you said, he has this long rap sheet. He was threatening those people, and this guy puts him in a chokehold. So if you're grappling with a person, how do you know that it's safe to let him go? How do you know that the situation is you know, put down? You don't. And so yeah, you just don't. And he's defending these people who were threatened enough to call 911. And so to make this homeless guy out to be the next George Floyd, it's just ridiculous. I mean, there's this attitude around America now where you can't defend yourself. You have to just rely on the government. But what do we see with the government? They let all the riots happen. The police officers were told by Democrat elected officials, don't do anything. And then even as recently as Chicago, you know, with everyone just running amok in downtown, you know, running over cars, beating up people, and then the police have a press conference saying, hey, we don't tolerate that stuff. We're not going to put up with that. Meanwhile, people are beat up and their cars are damaged and stores are broken into. It's like they say rely on the government for your security, but they're not providing it. They just want chaos. And the last thing they want is for people to defend themselves. And that's why this guy, Daniel Penny, is being made out to be the worst person in the world.
Well, it's almost offensive in a way for them to level this as a George Floyd incident. I mean, Bobby, you saw the clip. They're drumming this up to be a whole racial thing. Meantime, the U.S. Marine vet was assisted by another black man. I saw another person in that video also helping detain this individual. So the whole race car, we need to just immediately throw that out. It is not the same thing. But luckily, we do have someone, not probably the last person you think on the list, but Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, he weighed in on this. Take a look.
Well, both the congresswoman and the controller is a citywide leader. And I don't think that's very responsible at the time where we're still investigating the situation. Let's let the DA conduct his investigation with the law enforcement officials. To really interfere with that is not the right thing to do. And I'm going to be responsible and allow them to do their job and allow them to determine exactly what happened here.
Bobby, what a relief to hear. Right, I'll let you have the word, but the fact that he was able to call for a full and complete total investigation, he wasn't immediately siding alongside his New York representatives there, was a great thing to see, and I applaud him for it, among other things that I usually wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's surprising. And this was like with conservatives, well, that's all we want. You know, it's just say, let's have an investigation and let's have a DA that if there's really something going on, that they will prosecute rather than letting bad guys out on the street like we see all the time. And that leads to the skyrocketing crime.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.